go ahead and get started. And look at this, no intro video, because all of our sponsors that we thank to start our show are here tonight.
Yeah.
So thank you all for that. We'll get those up here on the screen here in just a moment. But just want to introduce ourselves. You see us maybe online, on YouTube, on Facebook. My name is Brian. I know most of you from in some way, shape, or form. There's some new faces that maybe we've just talked online a couple times. So welcome. To my left here is Paul Johnson. Paul, share maybe a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in Fort Wayne footy.
Yeah, Paul Johnson. I didn't come onto the show until about August or so when the high school season started. So we were looking for someone who could help contribute with the high school scene and maybe the club soccer scene, college scene. So I'm just super grateful to have been brought in. It's been a lot of fun. Happy to be here tonight and see some people or meet some people who've been disembodied with just messages and see them in the flesh and see some old friends as well. This is awesome space.
And Paul is being, you're not saying everything that you do. He sits backstage and gives us all the details, all of the things about people that are on the show. So he sits backstage a lot, but he plays a much more important role than what we play on the
True,
actual
especially
podcast.
during high school season.
Yeah.
The way we usually run things is I'll put together an outline for our shows. I'll share it with our team and say, fill in the gaps. And we came to high school season and Paul and Todd joined.
Yep.
And all of a sudden we had 4, 5, 6 pages of notes. And I was like, guys, the show's only an hour.
Yeah.
But we had more than we needed, which was fantastic.
Perfect.
So thanks for that, Paul, for your work there, and Todd as well.
Yep.
Dustin?
I've been here since the beginning. Brian messaged me and said, hey, I'm interested in doing a podcast about soccer. Do you want in? And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. So it's been fun to see it take shape over the last year and where it's been, and see the team kind of take off and now be professional. So it's really exciting to be a part of this. So
yeah, for sure. And we have 2 others that will join us here in a few minutes. Todd Gilpin and Mike Middendorf. If you guys just want to wave so people, they see you, they know you. We'll let you share a little bit when you get up here.
And Autumn's not here. We want to make sure you guys know, because you'd always say, yeah, you give us crap about Autumn not being here. She's busy doing other things.
She's coaching basketball as well. And she changed jobs and she's coaching basketball, and we have not fired her. She just said, can I have a couple months to settle in here? And so she's at an away game tonight. I think LaGrange, maybe.
Sure.
It's a ways away. So she will not be here. We do have some new faces that may pop in a little bit later, and we'll make those announcements when they come. But guys, tonight as we start the show, we do have a special guest we'll get to here in a few minutes and some announcements that we want to make. But Fort Wayne FC, there's been some new news with Fort Wayne FC, with Keelan Barker, who has just re-signed as an assistant coach. It was announced, I believe, 2 days ago.
Yep.
And so what are your thoughts on Coach Keelan coming back?
I think it's awesome. There's been a lot of change, but also some continuity, which is nice. I think it'll be good to be excitement to the change, but you can't leave everything behind, and you bring some things forward, and it'll be for the best. And it's I think the fans are excited to go forward with this.
Yeah, I think continuity is key. We talked about it this last Sunday about that, and the signings plus bringing him back. I'm excited to see how that plays shape, and then as we talk to our special guest here in a little bit about that as well. So
yeah, for sure. We do have some comments here coming in from someone that's sitting directly across from me here live. Christina Copeland says, bring back Autumn.
I was waiting for it. You had to put it in. Like, if you didn't, I'd be disappointed.
Gotta be there. Yeah. So Autumn, hopefully you see this later and you are feeling the love. So yeah, absolutely. Good to see Coach Avery was announced a few months back and is here tonight with us. We'll bring him on in a few moments. Keelan Barker was just announced a couple days ago. So you talk about the consistency and what these coaches have gotten out of these players. And I'm not just saying that because he's sitting next to me.
Right. He's staring at you.
But
just an FYI.
What these coaches have gotten out of the players in the last couple of years has been phenomenal just to watch on the field. And I know, there's guys, Justin's talked about it. Coach Avery's talked about it in the past. Guys want to be here. Guys want to be here in Fort Wayne with the culture that's been built here and playing for the coaches that, push them and believe in them and build a culture in that way. So excited to talk to Coach Avery here in a few minutes. Other local soccer news, we've talked about the Summit City Sentinels games that have been happening. Raise your hand if you've been involved or have been to a game there. I know there's quite a few people here. And so definitely want to highlight our young players that are participating with the Summit City Sentinels and their indoor squad, the MLIS Pro and MLIS X, which is their extended league. And Paul, I'll pass it to you and let you share a little bit about that.
Yeah, in addition to the MLIS Pro men's and the extended men's, we also have the women's team. They kicked off their season just this past weekend in Chicago, and they will be hosting the women, the Chicago again, but at home Sunday evening. The Pro men's team will also be home this evening. I believe there's also going to be a couple of the extended games. We have 2 teams in town that are extended.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
We have the Sentinels with their extended team, and the 1927, who had a great game versus Kansas City this past Sunday.
That was a tight one. It was like
that was a great game.
Was it 15-8 versus Sentinels, and it was like 8-7 against 1927.
Right. They gave them a really good run. It's kind of made Kansas City, gave them a little made their trip worthwhile. I would say.
For sure. That team from Kansas City was good.
Yeah, I'm not sure when those extended games are going to be scheduled this weekend, but all 4 of those games are going to be up at the Classic City Center, Waterloo, Indiana.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for those games. If you get a chance to get up there, they're a lot of fun to watch. And there was some broken glass at one point, not from one of the games that we saw. It has been repaired. But I imagine somebody got checked into the glass pretty hard to shatter it.
He was looking at you like you broke the glass.
No.
Okay. I was like, okay.
All right.
No, but it's a lot of fun. Get up there and support our other local teams in the area. Speaking of support, Dustin, if you want to flip the next slide, we do want to thank those of you who have sponsored us and brought us to where we're at tonight. We really are truly grateful for your backing in getting us to this point. And we've got a lot of new things we want to share tonight, some new goals, some things we're trying to accomplish this year, and we couldn't do any of it without you. So just, you can see them up there. I just want to read them off just so folks online that maybe aren't seeing this can hear it. We have FW22. They were like our first ones that jumped on. Really grateful for Jared and his support early on, believing in us. That we hadn't even started a show yet. And he was like, I'm in.
Whatever you need, I'm in.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Good dude.
And then we had Summit City Climbing Company, Edwin Chow right here, sponsored an episode early on. I think episode 2 or episode 3. He was in early on. Thank you for that support, Edwin. And I don't even know if he knew what he was getting into. He was like, yeah, I'll do that. Sure. That sounds like something I want to be part of. So we appreciate that. OmniSource, I don't think we have anybody from OmniSource. They weren't able to make it tonight, but they were one of our early sponsors. Anna Zeiger was pretty key in that. Her son Jack is playing for the Sentinels and Homestead and FC Pride, and he was with Indy 11. And so you guys know that name. Jack's been around for a while too. Good player there. Dead One Pest Control. Raise your hand if you're from Dead One Pest Control. Right on. Thank you guys for being part of this. Laser X. We got Laser X contingent over here. Nice. Thank you for being part of this. And that was a fun one because part of their sponsorship is tickets that we can give away for youth teams and things to go to the Laser X and play. So there's some things that we're going to be doing this year with more of those. And then R&T Tree Service is one of our latest ones. Romel back there in the corner. Thank you for jumping on board. That came about, I believe, during our player development series, right? I think we had Matt Hine on. Was that the episode you saw, Romel? And said, that's what do you guys need? I'd like to help with that. So awesome. Really grateful there for that. Yeah. And then we have some of our Patreon sponsors. Got Michelle Snyder and the Snyder family, our most recent patrons jumping on board. We've got Ryan Smeltzer back here. Ryan, raise your hand. Also an MK Ultra. If you listened to this last episode with Robert Kerr from the Morning Kick Around podcast, Ryan is part of what they're doing too. And then
every other podcast.
Yeah. And Christina Copeland back there. Leading the Three Rivers Regiment. So thanks for what you do there and your support of the show. So, guys, before we move on, is there anything else that local soccer news, any thanks you want to throw out, shout outs to anyone?
No, I just, our sponsors have been really awesome. We never knew what we were going to get into with this. We had an idea, and everybody that's come out and supported us, we're very grateful in relationship to that. And I hope you guys feel that tonight. We have some really big goals and ideas and things that we're going to do for this next year. And so we couldn't do it without you guys. So appreciate it. Thanks, RG.
Yeah, we appreciate all you guys
Just RG.
as sponsors and as fans. No, the only good bug is a dead one. All right, that's right. No, but thank you, everyone. Sponsors, the fans, the supporters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys make it possible. All your contributions, your comments, listening to the live shows, listening to the podcasts. That's why we
If
do
we
it.
didn't have engagement, it'd be boring. So thanks for always responding and sending in some things. So appreciate that too.
I will say this, on our last show when Robert Kerr was on and the ad for Dead One Pest was running. He knew, like he was in the chat backstage going, the only good bug is a dead bug. And I don't know if that's because he's listened to the show or he just knows that. And I was like, it's that hit. And he just started
really
laughing
funny.
like, that's right. That's what I just typed.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We do have some big announcements to make. The thing we posted earlier tonight just said the new Fort Wayne Footy is coming. And so let me just share a little bit. It's a new season. It's a bigger stage, and it's a city ready for more. Fort Wayne soccer has a past worth honoring and a future worth chasing. From grassroots soccer to the professional game, from the supporters in the stands to the teams on the touchline, this is where Fort Wayne soccer conversation lives. We celebrate the game, we elevate the conversation. From 1927 to now, and what's next, this is the new Fort Wayne Footy. All right. So we're changing things up a little bit. We just figured, there's a team in town that we support, and we chose our colors initially to support that team. Mm-hmm. And then that team changed their colors. And so we're going to change our colors and look like we actually support the professional team in our city. And so I just felt on a professional level, like if we want to be a podcast that's recognized for supporting the professional team here in Fort Wayne, I want us to make sure we actually support and look like we support them. And so I know there's other teams in town, there's other colors in town, but we're going to roll with these right now. And it gave us an opportunity. We tested out a logo and a brand for the first year, which I think was all right. And we wanted to change things up as we went forward. So you've got the backwards facing F, looking to the past. We've got the W, the right now, and the forward facing F. That's where are we going now? Where are we going next? And so wanted it to look a little bit more, a little more modern, a little more edgy, and moving forward.
And shout out to Brian, because this is all him.
Yeah.
Like that is not my forte. That's not your forte.
No.
But this is amazing what he's been doing with this and how he came up with this logo. Huge shout out. And you won't ever say it. You wouldn't say it, but we're going to say it right now.
You're the force, man. Someone asked me the other day, who
does all this stuff?
Who does this?
Well,
what is, and I said, Brian Beadbuck.
Yeah.
That's it. He's the force.
The flip side of that is if you hate this and you hate everything we do,
that's also why I said that.
Like backhanded compliment, like we're just going to put Brian under that front tire and see what happens. See if people roll over him or not. I appreciate that, Dustin. It's been a lot of fun doing this, and it's been hours and hours and hours that my wife can attest to. Thanks, Amy, for giving me the space to do all this. So we're going to bring on Coach Avery next. So and Micah and Todd, if you guys want to come on up and switch out here. Coach, if you want to, we'll have everybody come around that side. Why don't you guys come in first, and we'll have Coach there at the end so he can get in and out easiest. All right. So before we get to Coach here, I'll let you guys get your mics on there, and just right over flip it around that way. Yep, there you go. You need some extra slack there, I think. There you go. Flip it the other way.
This way?
There you go. Yep. So this is Todd Gilpin here to my left. And Todd, as you heard, joined the team during our high school series. Todd, share a little bit about yourself and why you joined the show.
You asked, and I'm always up for supporting the game. As many of you know, I'm the executive director at the sport club. High school, youth, soccer, that's kind of been my passion for, 30 years.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you and all your notes and questions that you contribute. And Micah, I got to tell this story. Micah, I think, was maybe the first one I talked to because it was kind of on a whim. We're sitting at an indoor soccer game. Our kids are playing at the Plex. And I just said, I've been dreaming of starting this podcast. And I saw Micah there and I went, hey, Micah, if I started a podcast, would you do it with me? And I said, it's all about soccer. We want to follow Fort Wayne FC and local soccer. Do you remember what you said?
I have some opinions.
I have some opinions. I think you're muted. There you go. I have some opinions. And I was like, perfect. We need someone that has some opinions on the show. So share a little bit about yourself, Micah.
Yeah, first off, Brian, like my whole goal every time I get on these podcasts, don't embarrass Brian. Brian is a professional. We're just trying to ride his coattails and not embarrass him. But and I don't think we give you thanks enough for everything that you do for the show. But I'm a Fort Wayne transplant. My wife had actually grew up here in Fort Wayne, moved here about 5 years ago. And the city's been great to me. So any way that I can give back to the city or the club, absolutely love doing it. Soccer's been a passion of mine. I've coached at the college level, mainly at Division III for about 12 years. Took some time away. When I moved back, again, the city gave back to me where I was able to get back into coaching. And I absolutely am thrilled with everything that the city has to offer. And when Brian approached me about, hey, we're doing this podcast. Yeah, I'm in. Went home and talked to my wife and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast. She goes, no, you're not. You're not going to do a podcast. She goes, you are the most introverted individual. I'm like, I know. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But Brian makes us look good every single week. So thank you for everything that you do, Brian.
You're welcome. This is why I had the show, actually. Thank you for that. I'll grab another drink ticket, Micah, if you want. So
I was just going to say, if his goal is not to embarrass you, I think I have new goals. How can we embarrass you?
Perfect. Well, I'll be my radar's up now for that. So, and Coach Mike Avery, thanks again for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
Your name has come up several times just tonight, but we've talked, your name's always front and center on our show when we talk about the team and the things that we are grateful for as fans, just watching and seeing. And then what you bring even to the city and the community outside of the soccer pitch. We're really grateful to have you tonight and to have you back with Fort Wayne FC.
I appreciate it. I don't have any drink tickets to give to you for the compliments, but if I did,
got a whole
I
pile
would
of
be
them right
passing your way. I appreciate that very much. And
Yeah.
I love what you guys do. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So we talked, man, early on. I think you were on episode 4 when we started this, and we were floored. Like, we've got head coach Mike Avery coming on. We barely started the show. So the fact that the club is on board with this, and it's been a great relationship to work with Justin and the club there. So again, just grateful to have you here. So Coach, we just had some questions as we talk about the season coming up and the consistency. You've heard that a little bit of the coaching staff and some of the former players that are back now already. We had Michael Rempel on last week, which he was a ton of fun.
He's a great guy
to interview and talk about. So talk with. And I know that there's this rosters being built. You're still waiting to sign some players, and some players haven't been announced yet, and all that stuff. As you look at the team, you got a full preseason coming up, which you haven't had yet. What gets you most excited going into this season? This preseason.
Yeah, probably what you just mentioned. I mean, if you think back to the last, I guess it'd be 4 years of USL2, there were literally times we would have a day of practice and then play a game that counts.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what's your name again? Where do you play? Hop on. And just introduce people. And you kind of had a rolling start to the season. And now we have 6 weeks of a preseason, a real proper preseason. And so that's really exciting for us. So we're excited to get the guys in town. There's some players that have already arrived. There's players that are arriving this weekend. We'll start on Monday, kind of officially with the start. But even that's a little bit of a rolling start. You're signing players. You're not just signing players. You're hiring players. So there's immigration lawyers. There's visas that have to get worked out. So some guys will be coming later than others based on their visa appointment in whatever country they're coming from.
Yeah.
So it's a little different process for sure.
Yeah. How different is it than USL2 process? Again, beyond not having a preseason and signing players and hiring players or whatever, but you actually get to see them play a little bit more. Maybe watch more film.
Yeah.
What has been involved in that process?
Yeah, it's been a lot. I'll tell you that. I mean, I knew there was a lot of agents in the world. I had no idea. I mean, literally thousands of people reaching out all the time. As an example, I had just the other night. I had at 3 o'clock in the morning, 58 profiles came from one agent in Germany, and it was just like bah, bah, bah. I thought somebody died actually because my phone was just going bah, bah at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you just grab it and you're like, I have no idea what to even do with all this information. And then the guy called me at noon to ask if I had watched all the videos yet. There's 58 profiles on there. So you're trying to weigh through all of the stuff that's coming your way and stay focused on what it is that you're trying to get out of the roster and stay really intentional with the build to make sure that we're ticking off the boxes that we're trying to cover. And I guess it's probably interesting for some people that are into this stuff. So an average roster size in USL League One will be about 18 full-time pros. Okay, then they will supplement with academy players or short-term contract players to get to the 22, 24 that you might need to have a normal training session and run. We have some challenges and we don't have an academy right now. And so we're going to sign probably 20 players when it's all said and done on our roster. The other thing that's interesting for us, maybe that's unique to us, is the intention of the roster. So if you look around the league and you monitor signings, you're going to see a lot of 28, 29, 30-year-old players who have been professional signing in teams all over the league. I think the average age, one Knoxville played Spokane in the championship last year. The average age of the starters on the field was 28 years old. Wow. Right? That's not what we're doing with our roster. I think we are trying to be a club that is finding emerging younger talent and help them go to where they're trying to go. That's the level that we're at. And so we want to embrace that. And so right now, I looked at the board before I came over here this morning. I think our average age as we sit here today is about 22 and a half.
Wow.
So significantly different than the average in the league. Now, we still have in there, we have a couple of old veterans that help you balance the squad. We've got some really young, exciting players that we're hoping that we can bring out to the next platform. And I'm on the phone literally from 6 o'clock in the morning until whenever I decide to turn it off, and constantly talking to Zooms or to people on the phone and just trying to sell this thing as we get to know the players. Because look, my background is 30 years of coaching in college. And so when we recruit for like a 4-year or 5-year journey as a program. And I can't give that up, like in terms of building a culture and making sure we're getting the right people in. And so I won't sign someone until I've done my due diligence with them and got to know them a little bit. And so we're being very intentional about that part of it as well. We're not going to be wowed by a resume and just sign them because the agent says that we should sign them right away. And so we're really trying to do our homework and make sure that we get to know them. And are they a good fit for? You can see if they can play or not. You can watch the video and you can see that pretty quickly. But are they a good fit for the rest of what we do as well?
Yeah. And that leads into my next question. And if you guys have questions, jump in. But that leads into my next one is last time we talked about culture. And we talked about guys literally from different cultures coming in here, but team culture in general. How do you build that? And now you have 6 weeks of preseason to really build that, which is half of the season you had the last several years, right? What are you looking at in the preseason that are maybe activities and things that could build the culture that you're really hoping to build here?
I think, again, I use that word intentional a lot because the culture piece is really, really important. It's kind of my passion in coaching is that part of it. We spend a lot of time, probably more time than any team you've ever heard of, on that part of it. And it's really no magic to it. Like I think sometimes people think like we go paintballing or drive go-karts somewhere, that's team culture. And those things are fun and it's important, but it's not slogans on the wall. It's like what you do every day. And so we spend a lot of time in activities that are designed to make them interact with each other. And again, the idea is the deeper the connection that we can make, the harder we are to break apart as a team. And so we just try and put them in environments where they talk and get in front of each other and share things with each other that aren't usual. Look, I don't know if this will be a surprise to anybody, but young men that are like 19 to 24 years old aren't really very good at talking about their feelings. You know what I mean? They're not the most vulnerable group of people, right? And we're like trying to say to them, listen, the deeper you're willing to go, the more we get to know you. We got you. It's okay. You know what I mean? And so I try and model it with the way I share with them and then the way that we talk to each other. But we try and create, again, a culture of just radical acceptance and belonging where it's good. Like we got each other. Because that's where confidence ultimately comes from. I think sometimes you forget that when you're in sports, is you think, where does confidence come from? Does it come from preparation? It does. Does it come from past experience? It does. But really where it comes from is connection. It's knowing that whether I make the shot or miss the shot, my guys have my back. That's what confidence is about. And so we've got to create a relationship and an environment. And we've been really good at that in the past. It's one thing that sets us apart. When you talk to players out in the world and they've heard about what's going on in Fort Wayne, they're attracted to the culture for sure.
Yeah.
So
I will say this, and I'll let you ask a question, but I will say apparently coming on Fort Wayne Footy is a great way to get guys to talk. We had Lane Snyder on recently, and I interviewed him for about 7.5 minutes. And I don't know if Michelle can hear me. I know she posted. She was like, "How'd you get him to talk that much?"
That's right. I've got a 17-year-old home too. Yeah. So I get it. How was your day? Good. Are you hungry? Good. It's like everything is like, just shut up, Dad. Get out of here.
So Lane, if you're watching, if you hear this later, I really do appreciate you taking the time to be part of that interview. I'll pass it on, guys.
I was just going to say, talking back about the culture, that comes from the top. DeMarcus was telling me a story. It's been about a year ago about a player that was homesick that came to him, and that was a different situation, but he helped that player out. But to follow up to that, there's been 7 or 8 players announced about.
Family like? Does he have brothers and sisters? What's he into? Like, if you don't know those things, what a missed opportunity that is for you. You know what I mean? Like, so every time we can connect on even the littlest of things. So, oh, you like Mexican food? I love Mexican food. Like those little points of connection, that's where you start to build a relationship. And so we start on even the most simple things. It's like, I don't care where you've come from. I don't care where you've played. I don't care what your life experiences are. We're here in Fort Wayne right now. So wherever you come from in this great big wide world, here we are right now. We all play soccer. It says Fort Wayne on our shirt. That's where we're going to start. We just start with a point of connection, and we just start to build relationships based on that. And then just trying to be human about it. I mean, we can get so caught up, and trust me, nobody understands competition better than I do in the room. Because if I don't win enough games, guess what? I have to find a different job. You know what I mean? Like I have a wife that has expensive tastes. I've got kids that are in college. I've got stuff that's going on in the real world too. So I understand the pressures of competition. But what we have to do is figure out how to be comfortable in the paradox around competition. How could it be all about winning when I believe that it has nothing to do with winning, right? And we got to figure out a balance in there somewhere. And what it's about, it's about the people. You know, like I said it like a few years ago, I graduated from college. This might surprise some of you, but it was like 36 years ago, right? My best friends in the world were my college soccer teammates from 36 years ago. We went and had a reunion a couple years ago. We got a lake house. We were up in Maine for a few days. Our coach came. About 18 guys were there from the team. Do you know how many times we talked about soccer that weekend? Not a one. We definitely didn't talk about goals scored or who started or how much playing time, all the stuff that you think is really important while you're living the experience. We talked about funny stuff that happened in the locker room, nicknames, stuff that happened on the road, maybe the stuff that, the coach said this to you one time. Like all the funny things and then the relationship things, that's what you take away with you. And so what I tell players, again, my pitch to them when I'm talking to them is like, we don't want to be your last club. We want to be your next club. And then whenever you're done, whenever your career is done, we want to be your favorite club. So if you were here for a week, if you were here for a year or 10 years, we still want Fort Wayne to be your favorite club that you ever played for.
Yeah, I think this goes a long way, especially for all the young coaches out there, that yes, winning is important, but it's the relationships and establishing that connection with your athletes and establishing the connection with the players. I think it's sometimes lost, where especially my story as a young coach, I came in tactics. We're going to run this. We're going to be fit. We're going to do this. And mistakes I made early in my career is I didn't focus enough on the people and taking care of the people. So thank you, Coach.
Yeah. And I'm like you. Like I've been coaching for a long time, and the stuff that I used to say or have said in the past, I shudder to think how I treated someone when I was a young coach that was all about the winning part of it. And again, trust me, you guys have seen me on the sideline. I want to win games too. Ask a referee if I want to win a game. You know what I mean? Like, trust me. Like, but I also am trying to keep at the forefront what is the most important part of this thing. And it's really, for me, it's the people that we all become because of the time that we spend together. We share this experience. We go through the ups and downs. We suffer together. We celebrate together. We learn a lot about ourselves. And I say it all the time, and it's true in this situation as well. What we're doing right now as a startup expansion team in this league at this new level, this is hard stuff that we're doing, right? If it was easy, someone would have done it already. And if it was easy, it wouldn't be any fun for somebody like me. And if it was easy, I wouldn't learn anything about myself along the way, right? So we have to keep those things in mind.
Yep. And if it was easy, not intentionally, not like throwing shade at anybody's way, there would be teams that aren't dropping out, like going into USL 1 and saying, we're not ready yet. We're going to wait.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot that goes into it for sure that I'm learning all the time. And, we have a whole other side now over at the Ruoff headquarters that are incredible people doing incredible work, that there's just so much happening. I think back to when we started to compare to what we're doing now, and it's a completely different, same mission, but completely different operation now. There's a lot that goes into this for sure.
Yeah. We have a couple questions left. I got one here in the chat that just says, speaking of nicknames, does Coach Avery have a fun nickname he's willing to share with us?
Like my nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's super simple. Like they just called me Ave.
Ave?
Yeah. You talk to anybody from college, I haven't heard the name Mike and with my college kind of growing up friends for a long time. They just call me Ave. So
nice.
Yeah. Feel free if you
How about any nicknames on the team?
Of players
or other coaches, management, whatever you're willing to share.
There's certain things that we're going to just keep to ourselves. Yeah.
It's all about the culture of trust.
That's right. It was stays in the locker room, right?
Yeah, right. Man, if we maybe take a couple questions, if you guys have anything for Coach Avery while he's up here, feel free to just pop your hand up and we'll address them what we can. What's that? Kit drop. It was. I don't know that he can address that, but that's been a conversation on the show, and I know Justin gave us what he can on that. We're waiting on some things. But.
Like when is it going to happen? Is what you're asking? I don't know. Yeah. I try and stay right in my lane, and what we wear is 100% not in my lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, yeah. What am I reading? Yeah, a lot. I'm one of those guys that I go through a couple books a week. You know what I mean? I'm always reading something. So I don't know what it'll be. I'm going to pick up something. If you have any recommendations, please send it my way, because there's a lot of time on planes and trains and automobiles this year. It's the travel schedules. There are times, a friend of mine he's the general manager of the Boise team. He's a good friend of mine, and he called me about halfway through this, as we're doing this build up to it. We're kind of on the similar schedule with them because there's expansion team. He said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I said, "Look at the travel," and it's like, it sounds awesome. Maybe, yeah, we'll see.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think 1 week we mentioned this. I think 1 week you're Saturday in Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
Wednesday in Boise, and Saturday back in Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
which is a lot of travel.
It's a lot of travel.
As
Yeah.
you look at, I know you spent time, I believe, with Chicago Fire and their coaching staff, and in some other realms probably. What are you picking up as far as what's needed this year?
Yeah. It's
player
really,
recovery
and
and
again,
all that.
us being intentional as a coaching staff, we just talked about this today in a meeting. We aim to be the best traveling team in the league. And we have to be, because we spend about 6 weeks on the road to start the season. So our process, how we handle the travel, the rigors of the travel, making it as easy on the player as possible, we're really trying to make sure that we pay attention to that, because it is everything. I mean, you almost have to plan. Like when you go to Boise, for example, that trip is the middle of that week. It'll take a whole day to get there. I mean, we're not traveling like Chicago to LA. It's 3-hour drive to Chicago to fly to LA and then drive 2 hours to Avery. You know what I mean? It's a long day to get there from here. And so you've got to plan that almost as a physical activity day. And so managing rest, managing, everything we can with their bodies and all of the food, and just making sure that they can focus on playing, because nobody cares about that part of it. They care about the result of the game. And so we've got to just make sure that we're doing everything we can to give ourselves the best chance to be successful.
Todd, you had a couple questions in here.
Let's
Anything
get
you wanted to share?
This gentleman over here had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, not in my lane. I've asked many of the same questions because, like you, I want to make sure. I'm told that we are in a good place for that. Yeah. I think once the outside structure goes up, the rest of it goes pretty quick. Yeah. But it has been an unusual winter, really. It's not been fun. So
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramel.
I appreciate that for sure.
Yep. Todd?
So you're moving from USL 2 to USL 1. We talked briefly about off season and how it's different. How are you going into the season, through the off season? What differences are you seeing really between the leagues? We know travel, we know schedule, obviously professional players and all that, but how are you treating it any different?
Yeah, I'm actually, again, interestingly enough, someone asked me that question earlier today, from how are you going to approach it differently? And honestly, my answer is I'm trying as hard as I can not to be different. I feel like the things that we've done well, we can continue to do well. I know that it's a new level of competition, but we also have a new roster of players too that are built for that level. I think you can get caught up in so many things and forget who you are. And, I'm at an age in my life where I know pretty clearly who I am, and this is it. So like it or lump it. You know what I mean? Like this is it. And so I want to just lean into the things that I think are really important and try and be better at those things.
Yeah. Coach, as we wrap up, go ahead.
Yeah, I would probably say LA, because I'm from California and all my family and friends are out that way. Although the AV Alta is not in LA, so it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of up a little bit out of the way. But that one, Boise for sure, because I have friends there as well. But look, if I walked outside today, Florida sounds all right to me right now too. So, I mean, I'm not sure it'll be the same when we're down there in March. We might be wishing for the weather here again. But but yeah, I'm excited to see it all because again, you're trying to gauge what people are doing, what their setup is. That's part of being in a new league is you've got to figure out, okay, how long does it take from the hotel to the field? What restaurant is a good one for us to use? Like where, all of those little details that seem kind of mundane, those are really important when you're traveling. Over years, you develop the routine that works best for you. We're going through it all the first time right now. So I'm excited to see it all for sure. I know this, though. We will have the best setup in the league here. So we'll always be excited to be home. That's for sure.
Yeah. So wrap up this part of the conversation, I want to get to some of the player signings that we've heard about. I want to keep it in the realm of what we know. You probably know more than we do, and we don't want to put you in any weird situation. So in the realm of what we know, you've signed several defenders, right? Tiago being the first. You have Reed Sproat. We have Michael Rempo that we just talked about. Yes, JP Jordan,
now JP Morgan,
midfielder, not JP Morgan, like I called him on the first show. My bad. It's probably not the first time he's gotten that. And some others that have come recently. With Tag, I believe, being the most recent one from NC State.
Yeah.
Of the players that you've signed, we see a consistency in the back line, like strength on the back line, leadership on the back line. We looked at some stats from the last season, and fifth fewest goals given up in all of USL2 with 144 teams. That's a big deal. And just I think 11th best record in all of USL2. So you've assembled some great teams and a solid back line that you are carrying over into this year. But now we've got guys like JP Jordan that look like a great ball winner and good ability to turn and go at pace, right? And we've got Tag up front that's a goal scorer, it sounds like, right? I haven't seen much of him play yet, but as you look at the guys that have been announced that you can talk about, who, not to put anybody over and above anybody else, but who are you most excited to coach this year?
I'm most excited. I'm excited about all of them. It's a process to get them to the point where they're announced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go from, we initially meet, we talk, we're on the phone, I'm getting references, and then, we go through this song and dance a little bit to get them to come, and so when they're finally your player, you're super excited about them. JP Jordan, to tell you this quick story about him, I love this kid, by the way. You guys are going to love him. When I talked to him on the Zoom call, and I said, tell me about yourself as a player, in his little Texas twang, he just said, I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
I love that.
I just love that about him, like someone who knows who he is as a player. You know what I mean? Usually they try and pretend that they're something other than what they are, and he just leans into what he is. He's a really, again, all of them, I think that what I find to be like, they've got to pass all the different tests. Like Ollie, who's our sporting director, has a strong background in analytics. So he's looking at stats and data and video and analyzing. But ultimately, for me, there's just a connection that we have to have. And all of them to a person have, right when you get up the phone, you say, like, what do you think? Is that a Fort Wayne player? Yeah, that's a Fort Wayne player. And so I'm excited about that and what they bring to us. And we have some players from the past. We have some players that are new. There's a mixture of that. We have some young players, some old players. We're trying to balance the thing out. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, very good. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. I know this was a last minute thing for you to come.
Yeah.
We had Keelan scheduled to be here, and something
I heard there was a free beer, so I kicked Keelan.
Right? So we're honored just to have you here. We'd love to speak with Keelan again sometime as well. So again, thanks for coming out.
My pleasure.
Your support of this show, and thanks for your leadership with the team and in the community.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, you guys can stick around up here if you want to. I'm just going to share some new things that we have coming up. Actually, why don't we, Sean, why don't you come on down here? Are you in the back there? All right. We're going to bring Sean Black up here if you guys want to swap out. And I think we've got another one coming a little bit later. He's on his way. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Which mic you want to grab here? Any of them are on mute, whatever you're not. All right. There we go.
Teach me how to put this.
Flip it over. Yeah, those go over your ears there. There you are. All right, so this is our next new announcement. This is Sean Black. Some of you know him from youth soccer, from Fort Wayne Sport Club, now at Fort Wayne United, spent some time down in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Sean is joining the show.
Hey.
So as one of our new talent and co-hosts. So he didn't plan to be
Not
on
at all.
tonight. He doesn't know
No.
what he's getting into. So I just wanted to give you a moment just to share a little bit about who you are, so people know when they see you on the show who this Sean Black guy is. You were on as a guest the one time.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Again, I'm just really grateful to be here and be a part of your team. This is, you put a lot of passion and effort into this, and I just echo what everyone else said of like making everyone else shine, right? So who am I? Well, I'm just a kid trying to coach some soccer and help out some other kids. I graduated Ball State in 2014 with an education degree, and then I pursued and coached and taught in the Fort Wayne area my first 5 years, and then just really fell in love with coaching, kind of education and in soccer. Like coaching was the marriage between those two. So that's just kind of born my passion and just been chasing that ever since. And was offered a full-time job in Indianapolis to be a technical director at FC Pride, and really enjoyed that and learned a ton. And then my wife and I were expecting our second, and so we wanted to come back home. And so, thank you. Yeah.
How old now? The second one?
Yeah. So he's just about 3 months.
Okay.
And then our toddler's 2.5. And so mom just went back to work as a school teacher. So it's me, the toddler, and the newborn for about 8 hours every day. So
that deserves another round of applause.
And so just really thankful and grateful to God for what he's blessed me in terms of my family. And then Fort Wayne United offered me a job to oversee their U11s and U12s. And so just really open and excited, and have been enjoying the challenge of coming into a new environment and trying to, set the culture, as Coach was talking about earlier, about just like what our standard is in making those connections and helping them to grow in love of the sport and want to get better at it.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. My boy can eat some tacos too, just so you know. We met the other night for some tacos. So
yes, we did.
Sean, glad to have you on the team, man.
Yeah. Pleasure to be here. Thank
I'll
you.
share some more here, what you may be involved in here in a few minutes. But
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming out.
All right. Normally I would stand up, but because we're streaming, it would just be my belly, and nobody wants to see that. So I want to share a couple things, kind of our vision for 2026. You all have been a part of what we've done and what we've built so far in 2025, and we are super grateful. And your sponsorship, most of it is already carrying over into 2026 from what you supported early in the year, and 25 carries over into 26, and we're grateful for that. And so I just want to share some numbers with you, and then some vision with you of what we're hoping to do. Current reality is we stream on YouTube and Facebook once a week on Sunday nights. As I look back at our numbers, we've had 6,500 views on YouTube since we started on April 27th, I believe was our first show, 2 weeks before Fort Wayne FC started. So 6,500 views, I think, is okay. There's a lot of room for growth there. We have 56.1 thousand views on Facebook. So from 6.5 thousand to 56.1 thousand, it's a big jump from YouTube to Facebook. So we know where our audience is. And then we had 121,000 views on Instagram. So just views aren't everything, clicks aren't everything, but it is reaching an audience. 90% of that audience is in the Fort Wayne or greater Fort Wayne area, which means we're hitting our target, right? We do have some family members of some of us on this show that watch, with family members of players that when they're on. So we have some international dots, that show up in our analytics, which is a lot of fun. And so that's where we're at currently. But I want to share a little bit of our vision for this year, and it's a big one. And so again, as grateful as I am for your support this year, getting us to this point, it's set us up for some really exciting things in 2026. Our goal here is to be one of the premier podcasts in USL, right? Any division of USL, championship, League One, League Two, or even Division One when that comes into play in 2028. And so we're already in a position to be one of the top podcasts in USL League One, based on some of our numbers. We're not there yet, but here's what happened this year. We broke into the top 200 soccer podcasts in the United States, which, great, right? There's a lot of soccer podcasts. 200, like it's not top 200 podcasts, it's top 200 soccer podcasts. So I'm trying to keep it in perspective, but we hit number 144 at one point during the season, which if you take that into account, we follow a USL2 soccer team last year anyway. You have the top tier podcasts that Landon Donovan does and ESPN FC does. You have all of those podcasts. You have Major League Soccer, right, that has 30 teams and multiple podcasts that follow each of those teams. You have USL Championship with every team with multiple podcasts following them. And then you have USL League Two. And we broke into the top 150 at one point this season, which I was really excited to see and know that this year. And so let's see here. What this means for what we want to do, being one of the premier podcasts in USL League One, is that we are going to shift our focus on this show, primarily our Sunday night show, not this Wednesday night show. This is a special one, but our Sunday night show is going to shift focus to primarily Fort Wayne FC, Fort Wayne Football Club. We've covered a lot of high school. We've covered a lot of club. We've covered a lot of other teams in the area. Our Sunday night show is going to focus primarily on Fort Wayne FC so that we can really dig into the stories that people want to know about this team and support this team as best we can. There will be new segments on the show coming up. There'll be new faces and some new talent on the show, which you already met one earlier tonight. Sean Black is going to be part of it. Anthony Anzini, wave your hand, Anthony, just joined us. We'll get you up on a mic here in a second too. Is joining us. Amanda Burge is going to join us as part of our podcast team. And then, so we'll have some other special features. And then one of the things I'm looking to do this year is connect with other podcasts. So Morning Kick Around, we had Robert Kerr come on this last week, who's very connected in the USL and American soccer landscape. So to bring stories that I think are interesting to our viewers and our listeners. So we talk about celebrating the game, elevating the conversation. That's one of the ways we want to do that. All that said, our Sunday night show focusing on Fort Wayne Football Club, we are starting a second show. There will be a new Fort Wayne Footy podcast. It'll be not the same name. It'll be under the same umbrella that some of our team is going to break off to focus on other local soccer stories than the professional side of things. And so some of our biggest shows this year were our high school season wrap-up, our player development series when we had other local coaches and trainers in. And so it tells us that people are really interested in what's happening at the youth level. And so we want to continue to cover that and bring that to you. So we will be starting a second show for that. So some of our team will be part of that. You mind me saying who? Is that okay? Paul and Todd are very interested in the local soccer scene. Amanda Burge is coming on and is very excited about the local soccer scene. She was a Huntington University coach, coaches at Fort Wayne Sport Club now, and she's coached a few other places as well here in Fort Wayne. So we're excited to have her on. Autumn will be back with us, as we mentioned earlier, to continue that. We are expanding our coverage to beyond podcasting. So I've been talking with the club about getting photographers for game day. And so we'll have some photographers. Jason is around taking pictures for us tonight. We have another gentleman I've been talking to about coming on as a photographer for us. I've been talking to a young man about some videography work. And so the potential to bring more content on YouTube in a video-based way. We're really looking forward to pursuing that. I don't know where that's going to land yet, so it's not official, but we're working on that. Would love to have a few riders join the team and bring stories that maybe we talk about on the show, but we can't give you the full depth of the story. And so we're interested in bringing some writers onto the team and expanding our coverage in that way. I say all this to say, if you are interested or know people that kind of fit any of these categories, we would love to talk to them. To expand what we do at Fort Wayne Footy. Social media coverage, we know we need to bolster that, even though we have 121,000 views on Instagram. That's me doing it in my spare time when I can. I think that could be huge if we get someone that knows more of what they're doing and has more time to do that. So we're working on that. And then we are planning to do a weekly newsletter that brings some of these stories, just highlights of these things. And all of that will be available very soon on our brand new website that I will make live later tonight. You can sign up for Fort Wayne Footnotes, our weekly newsletter. How about that? We are planning some exclusive events like this with our supporters. We, again, really appreciate your support and your availability and ability to do this with us and for us. And so we want to honor that and host some events for you this way, and as well as some public events that we just want to host and just bring people in, and some things at maybe some other restaurants and breweries and things that we can do live shows like this. So those are some of our goals for the year, and then additional engagement on Patreon. For those of you who support us on Patreon, we're grateful for that. Looking at doing a game day Discord conversation that, you know, is especially on away games. Most of us, a lot of us will be there during home games, but for away games that you can't make it to, give you a place to have a conversation while the game is going on, and, you know, celebrate what's happening, or, you know, get frustrated. You don't have to throw your phone. You can just text it, and we'll join you in that. Live chat with our supporters, and then more content posted that way. So that's our vision for 2026. There's a lot to it. Let me share what some of the needs are. And as I share some of the needs, I'm not asking for more. You guys have given enough. I just want to make it known. If you have other folks in the community that you think would get behind something like this, just want to share what the need is and let it go from there. We brought in about $5,400 last year through sponsorships and through support. And we're grateful for that. And all of that money has just about been used for software, for equipment for our team, and some other things that we've had to purchase. So all of that money has been put to good use, and we're grateful for that. And again, that will continue on this year. The stuff that we've used that for has set us up to continue on through 2026. So it's not gone. It's there, and it's set us up well, just so you know that. But all the stuff that we want to do, that money helped us purchase microphones, live show setup like this that we're using, the software and apps that we've used so far. The rest is covering some of this event and some other things we have coming up. So everyone on this team operates right now on a volunteer basis. No one takes any money home from what's given to us. And so I'm grateful for a team that's willing to do that and share their passion with us that way. But to do everything we talked about, estimates, it's going to take probably another $5,000 to do that for the next year, to grow the team, to get additional equipment for that team, and to purchase some additional apps and software that we need to grow in the direction we want to grow. So just want to put that up there. To do that, to make it happen, we're looking for additional sponsors. We're looking at changing our sponsorship levels right now. And so not that everyone here that is sponsored will stay where you're at, but we're looking at doing show sponsors versus segment sponsors. And those will be different tiers that you can give monthly or annually for the whole show or for different segments. Maybe some corporate partners we're looking at doing and what that would look like. And then growth in the Patreon community that we are now calling You Are the Footy Faithful in the Patreon world. You are the Footy Faithful, and we're looking to grow the Footy Faithful this year as well. So if you're a Patreon member, invite some friends to join you. We have a free tier that people have jumped on. We're grateful for that. And then if you're a sponsor, consider talking to maybe other friends, other businesses that would be interested potentially in doing this. We've already got one that we are talking to here soon. So we're thankful for that. So thanks again for being here, for your support of the show this year. Anthony, can you come down for just a minute? And before we wrap up, just so everybody sees your face, knows who you are. You can grab that mic there. And the nickname that no one knows you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I had Sean come down just a minute ago and just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be a part of Fort Wayne Footy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. First of all, for inviting me. I just love what you guys are doing. It's for the community. It's getting exposure for the city, the program. I mean, the new club.
Us, not you guys.
Us.
You're part of it now.
Us. It's just really cool to watch it. And those of you that don't know, I coach out at Fort Wayne Sport Club. I just got done with my training session, so I was a little late with my girls. Team Maine's got to give them some love. But I also coach out at Bishop Lures. I do true futsal as well. So I'm pretty tied in with the community in that route or in that sense. But I love the game. I love the community. I love the city. And I just want to keep on watching this thing grow. And it's awesome to be a part of it. It's awesome to see everybody here. And just the support's great. So first of all, thanks again, Brian, Dustin, Paul, Todd. And I'm just excited to get going, helping in any way I can.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you, Anthony. And I'm sure you could eat some tacos too, but you missed it.
I did miss.
Sorry. Anyway, well, hey, thanks again for being here. Thanks for your support. We do have some extra drink tickets if you want something else to drink. They're up here on the table. Help yourself to that. And we'll be around till 8 o'clock. If you've got questions, you want to talk, you want to hang out, get some more food, we'll be around. We got the room till 8. So thanks again, y'all.